Plants vs Zombies 2, a game I can't get enough of. So I've decided to attempt beating Plants vs Zombies 2 only using fire plants.
Man, how back is ready to get to 10k, man. Please.
Hold on, before we start, let's talk about some of the basic rules already in place for this challenge. So the rules that we're going to follow throughout this whole series: rule number 1, no leveling up any plants whatsoever except for the level 2 mandatory pea shooter at the start of the game. But other than that, we're completely fine. Rule number 2, no power-ups are allowed. Last but not least, you can only use fire plants throughout the series. If you're not a belt throwing weird catapult thing or a flipping hot potato, you cannot be used in this challenge. And just because I hate myself, we also won't be using sunflowers. Will you all caught up now? Let's get straight to it. Welcome to the Frostbite Caves. This is day 1 of 30, so we're gonna have to get through this a bit quicker than usual, but nevertheless, we continue with day 1. On day 1, we are introduced to a new power-up, being a fire power-up. And a couple of you have been asking, will I be able to use this, in the comments of previous ones like the Wild West as well as Pirate Seas coming up to this world. And I was thinking about it, and I feel like we should be allowed. You know, we're not allowed to use power-ups in this world or this whole challenge, the series of beating Plants vs Zombies 2 only using fire, but it's a fire one. We might as well be able to use it while we have it. And yeah, it'd be quite cool to have, but we'll only use it when needed. We're not going to rely on it. So yeah, quickly removing the walnuts when I feel like they're about to be used. I completely forgot to root them when I started because they have to defrost. And we put down a snapdragon to really get those 3 middle lanes that they overlap with the wasabi whip to cause a lot of damage, and it was actually quite nice. But with all the extra sun, we placed down an inferno, which really made day 1 a really light and easy level, obviously because it's the day 1. And we finished up with 3 infernos, which really caused a lot of damage, and pushing us to day 2 and a nice introduction to the Frostbite Caves. Day 2 is where I actually started making notice of these 2 hand signals that push plants into different lanes, which I can't believe I didn't notice in day 1, where I even effectively built my offense against them. But this is the first level I actually noticed them, and there was a lot of defrosted plants which I really didn't know what to do, and we did unlock the hot potato, which was useful. And selling these plants so I couldn't use them gave me some back, some of the upgrades I got from previous worlds, which came in quite useful, and we built up a beautiful wasabi defense, which ended up being very lethal. And I really enjoyed using the wasabi whip. Using snapdragons between the wasabi whips really just made it a lot easier, and I took down a meteor flower because why not? I had enough sun for it, and with the amount of plants we had, we made quick and easy work of day 2, sending us to day 3 without even defrosting the repeaters in the back lane. Day 3 was the quickest and fastest conveyor level I've ever seen, and this was a level where we couldn't do it only using fire plants as we weren't given any of the fire plants, but that will change later on, so we're just going to skip this day, moving us to day 4. Day 4 was a level where I decided to use Blaze Leaf once again, and I kind of made a bad decision placing a plant just above the tile switch lane hand signal, but this didn't cause too much problem until the zombies started coming at a more frequency, and it was quite difficult to deal with, and we did end up losing one of the Blaze Leaves. But overall, it was quite an easy level. The first 5 days I normally just settle into the new world, and we were introduced to a new zombie, being a lion head zombie. I don't know the official name, but he chose a snowball, which I assume does damage to normal plants, but due to us only using fire plants, caused no damage and really didn't pose any threat, just being a slower normal zombie. And with a cheeky meteor flower and a couple of wasabi whips to clean up all things, we made quick and light work of day 4 as well, not being too much struggle, because the struggle was later to come, moving us to day 5. Day 5 was a conveyor level which I didn't originally think I could do until I saw us get given some fire plants, being just given the opportunities to beat it with an actual fire plant because it's literally burning. I was like, look, we're going to keep on going until I can't get it done. And we actually eventually got it done, but it was a very hard battle because we kept getting given lettuces. And we don't want those. The bell peppers were given to us quite scarcely, so I tried my hardest to place down some plants to get rid of it, to free up the conveyor so I could get more into the corners that I wasn't really using. I tried my fastest to delete them, but I wasn't there on time for every single time. But it was quite hard overall, and I tried my best to just delete them the second I could. And after defrosting all the lettuces and a lot of the lawnmowers being used, or the beavers to be used, we got to the last wave where it was really up to the final lawnmower to remove the last lane and for the bell peppers to kill off some of the throne zombies, which we actually made it through, which I was really happy that I only used bell peppers and fire plants to do it. And yeah, it was quite a unique level, and it just showed me the difficulty of the Frostbite Caves already in day 5, which you thought would be easier because it's an ice world. But nevertheless, day 6. Day 6, I got pre-selected plants. They expected me to use sunflower, so I didn't use sunflower because it's fire plants only and we're not allowed to use sunflower at all. So I locked in saving up sun is what do you call the sun that falls from the sky? The sun that came from the sky. I saved up enough to get 2 wasabi plants, and stealing the sun that it produced from me selling it, I built another wasabi plant. I waited for it to pass because it hits 2 tiles above it and 2 tiles behind it, so it's actually quite cool. And because I was really feeling myself, I decided to put down a cheeky inferno in the middle because I knew it caused a lot of damage, and I accidentally put down a spike plant. We don't talk about that. It was a mistake. Saving up enough sun then to have 2 wasabis back to back, it really just flew through because it killed all the zombies that came out, because there was no buckethead zombies that I know wasabi whip couldn't deal with, but it can definitely deal with coneheads alone. So I wasn't really scared, and we actually flew through this level. Eventually I put down some bell peppers behind them just to cause even more damage, and in these levels the inferno, because they push back plants as well, they are absolutely lethal, and I really enjoyed this feature of pushing back, so I'm happy with my purchase. No plans purchased today, but yeah, it's still real life money, so yeah. Damn. But overall, we actually finished this level with quite ease. I even tried to build up multiple bell peppers because why not, have it nice and symmetrical, and move this on to day 7. Day 7 was quite another typical day, and I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Day 7, day 8, and even day 9 were really kind of boring levels to go over. Nothing really special happened. We didn't really unlock anything new, so we're going to skip them over, showing you the victory. I only used fire plants to confirm that. And we have a lot of levels to go through. There's 30 levels in the Frostbite Caves. That's a lot more levels than the usual 25 like the previous 3 worlds. So we kind of want to go a bit quicker through these worlds. So day 10 was a conveyor level, which I thought, okay, maybe we'll be able to beat this with fire plants. Nope, it was just pea shooters. So yeah, straight after those couple of easy levels, we get straight to a level that we can't even do with fire plants. So okay, now we go on to day 11. 11 started with a lot of waves at the top, so I was a bit nervous, like damn, this level's going to start tough. But look, there's nothing Blaze Leaf can't do. It makes quick and easy work of a regular old zombie, and I'm like, oh, okay, we can just do the Blaze Leaf method, you know, put one on lane 4, lane 2. But then a conehead came out and quickly violated my whole game plan and ate my Blaze Leaf, and there's no sunflowers allowed in this playthrough, so sun was not nice. And then thankfully sun came from the sky again. I put down a cheeky inferno, and it did its thing from there, dealing a lot of damage and also pushing back. Couldn't ask for better RNG. Yeah, I put infernos on every single lane because I was fed up of losing. And real winners win, so I had to do what I had to do. I put infernos on every single time, and they were actually like the best way of killing those dodo birds that just decide, nah, I'm not going to switch lanes and just fly over. So they were definitely the best ones that I found out from day 11 that I used for the rest of this world to deal with the dodo birds. Yeah, it was quite nice too. Yeah, and with the final wave absolutely violating my air drums because SFX was way too high, and yeah, just have a listen for yourself. Yeah, I was listening to that the whole level, which was really annoying, but after this level I turned it down, so it wasn't good. But day 11, it was quite nice overall, and we bounced back with our Blaze Leafs, and we move on to day 12. Day 12, prepare your defense level. You already know wham. Place down a lot of infernos once again because I love them in this level. I don't know, they're really just nice. They push back zombies, they deal a lot of damage, kind of like just nuisances, menaces to this game, this level. And yeah, it was quite easy. Moving on to day 13. Day 13 had a do not trample the plants level, you know, the mushrooms down the first and second lane just between them. But you know, we started off with an inferno, 2 zombies came out. I was like, oh, I'm cooked. But we made quick and easy work. I got happy, got a plant food, and then a conehead came out. I was like, oh, my Blaze Leaf is cooked. But I ended up trying to save him and waiting for the wave to perfectly come on time to try to kill as much as I could with the plant food, but ended up perfectly working somehow. And I just started building up a beautiful inferno. It gets to a point in the level where you kind of just fly through until this Gigantua came through, which had like 16 imps, which I've never seen before. And yeah, it was crazy. He kept throwing imps, which I thought was like, oh, he's going to eliminate me because he keeps throwing the imps and they're going to kill. So I have to put down a wasabi whip, but we made quick work of him eventually, which was quite troublesome. We had to use a lot of our plant foods on him, put down a wasabi whip, and we finally burnt him to death, which was gorgeous. And we move on to day 14. Day 14, I hated it. We only got to use 1 plant, technically 2 plants, but what's the use of a hot potato? It just melts plants. We had to save up 200 sun per bell pepper, and it was so hard. I kept losing until eventually winning. And I don't want to talk about it anymore because it caused me a lot of pain and like an hour to beat. Day 15 started off with us placing a blaze leaf one tile in front of the tile that switches the zombies lane, just to make sure they don't, if they reach it, that we don't lose our blaze leaf. And we made quick work, and overall it was quite a beautiful level where we got endangered plants, which were fire plants, which went with the beautiful theme of beating PvZ2 only using fire plants. And overall it wasn't a tricky level. I did lose a couple of times due to the endangered plants being killed, but I found this method with the wasabi whip and blaze leaf made quick and easy work of it, and we're finally feeling the difficulty of Frostbite Caves actually hit. I thought it would be really easy because it's an ice level. I thought everything would be like super strong here, which it is, but overall it was quite easy once I started putting in some infernos. I put one behind the bottom endangered plant and then one on top of the top row behind the endangered plant too, and it just made it a lot easier. Finishing off day 15 with 2 fail attempts and finally beating it on my 3rd attempt, bringing us to day 16 and unlocking a weird stone rock thing. Yeah, that didn't really mean anything. Day 16 was a conveyor level, which we actually did get a couple of fire plants, being the hot potato and as well as the bell pepper thrower, basically the pepper pulse. And it just, the rate that we were getting the pepper pulse, and obviously the hot potato didn't really mean anything because we were only using fire plants. It just wasn't enough to beat this level. I tried many times, just wasn't working. So day 16 is going to be a day we actually can't do with fire plants, and we're given some fire plants but not enough to beat the level. And this is unrelated, but pepper pulse plant food ability is terrible. Yeah, anyways, day 17. Day 17, if you weren't doing a fire only challenge, it would be quite beautiful to have some of these shrooms down already, but you know, I just collected enough sun fell from the sky, placed on a beautiful blaze leaf, and it actually took out all these ones that I could sell for more sun, which gave me enough sun to place down, and instantly another blaze leaf, which I put down. With the influx of sun, I got enough for an inferno, and I kind of just built it from there. I did have to sacrifice the top lawnmower, and we did see a new zombie that I haven't really noticed until this point that pushes out 3 ice imps. As you can see on the right side of the screen right now, he's slowly pushing them out, but overall they weren't really that challenging. And day 17 was yet again one of the easier Frostbite Caves levels, so nothing too much to talk about on this level other than a beautiful victory. Moving us to day 18. Oh boy, are we in for a good couple of stinkers. Day 18, another level that we just weren't given any fire plants, and we quickly flew through it. Nothing special. There's a couple of onion guys that just kind of stacked them. It was kind of like the bean from the Wild West. I mean, it's quite unique, I guess, but yeah, other than that, we move on to day 19 with quick and easy level because it's a conveyor level. Day 19, again, it was a fire level, so we could beat it, but it was really easy again, and there was nothing too special that happened in these couple of levels. We did unlock a playground in day 20, which was cool, I guess, for just playing regularly, but other than that, day 20. Day 21, the same kind of thing, a conveyor level that actually had fire plants, and it gave us a lot of fire plants, fire pea and snapdragon, which went absolutely crazy towards the end. Yeah, and none too crazy here. Move on to day 22. Quite similarly, it was really easy, so let me just do a favor. Instead of going through every single one, I'm just going to show you the victory, and we're going to get to the levels where they actually get quite interesting. So with that, day 22, that's us beating it only using fire plants. Day 23 was an endangered plant, and you know, it was quite easy. Beat that level 2, and we move on to day 24, which was a bit different. We had to do a sun production level, but you know, we couldn't beat that without using sunflowers, so that was done. Day 25 just couldn't be done only using bell peppers because it was a conveyor level, and it had to be done because you got the bell peppers so late into the level. Day 26 as well was just really easy. I bet that were like 5 plants, and I just added extra ones because why not? Free time. Day 27 was really easy until the final wave where 2 gigantuars came, and I don't know what's up with these Frostbite Caves giganticoids, but they throw out like 5 imps. Shit was crazy as hell, but overall we actually went through it quite easily. I eventually violated him, pushing us to day 28. 28 was a plan your defense level, and you already know what I said like in previous worlds and stuff like that. We flew through it, pushing it to day 29, which was fire pea flipping heaven. It was so many fire peas, which I loved, making it quick, so I didn't mind pushing us to you know what. Boss battle! The Frostbite Caves boss battle. This mammoth boss, whatever you want to call it. This was quite an enjoyable boss level. Yeah, it just was not giving us frequent fire plants to beat this only using fire plants. I tried, I failed. After 10 attempts, I was like, oh, it can't be beaten. It can't be beaten because you get so little fire plants at the start. They literally go through your lawnmowers and just violate it. But you know, it was a nice, enjoyable battle that we got done, and we eventually just flew through it after a certain point because we literally filled up the lanes like up to the brim of the ice sheets. And I didn't know you could use the hot potato against the barriers blocking the boss, which was really cool to see that the hot potatoes couldn't be used on those too, because the fire plants that you did get to place would just melt the ones on your plants, so you kind of just had them building up in the conveyor. But other than that, it was a beautiful level, and actually so far was my favorite like level world boss to do. But eventually beating it, unlocking the key to the lost city. The video on the left will take you to watch the previous episode, the Wild West, and the video on the right will take you to the playlist so you can watch the newest video in the series and also previous ones if you haven't caught up. And I'll see you in the next one.